You're saying that everyone can go from being a shy, insecure, unconfident speaker to being a prolific speaker like yourself.
Yes, because it's all just a series of behaviors. Everything you and I are doing right now, everything you see a great communicator do on stage, everything you see a great creator do on video, it's just a series of behaviors. The way you're moving your mouth, the way you're manipulating airflow, the way you're moving your hands, it's all just behaviors. So when people say, oh, I'm shy, I always say to them, oh, that's because you've been practicing the shy behaviors for the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Being a confident communicator, that's just another series of behaviors that you can practice. And if you practice that for 10, 20, 30, you'd be a confident communicator, right? So it's just behaviors that we get attached to because it becomes a part of our identity. And then I think when it becomes a part of our identity, all of a sudden now we feel like we're stuck, but you're not. And then there's this really interesting concept. I don't know if you've come across it before, where it's, where does your voice come from? Where do you get your voice from? You learn how to communicate based on the people you were inspired by when you were young. The voice you currently have, people think, oh, that's my natural voice. It's like, no, it's not your natural voice.
Yeah.
You lost your natural voice when you were 2 or 3 years old, right? Whereas the voice you have now, that's your habitual voice. It's just a series of habits. And the thing that I find the most fascinating is that when the habits move from your conscious mind and it goes into your subconscious mind, now you feel it's a part of you and now you're stuck with it. But in the beginning of your life, you have to consciously think, oh, dad speaks really softly, so I'm going to speak really softly. But the moment you do that for 2-3 years, now it moves into your subconscious mind. And then you go, oh no, that's me.
When you have so many people coming to see you speak, what are the top 3 things, the practical problems that people are coming to solve when they come to you? So when someone comes and says, Vin, I need your help.
Yeah.
What are they trying to solve in their life? The top 3 things that you hear.
So first thing they go is, how can I become more self-aware? I'm awake now to the problem of my communication. How can I begin that journey and become more aware? And when they ask me that question, then I share with them a very simple technique. And a very simple technique that I share with them is record and review. So the only way to become more aware is if you see yourself. And most people hate watching themselves on video. Most people hate listening to themselves on audio. So that means they've been going through their entire life avoiding the 2 most critical things you need to develop self-awareness with your communication. And they hate this process. So the process is record a video of you speaking for 5 minutes, right? And then when you review and reflect on that video, leave it for a day so you're less critical of yourself. And once you've left it for a day, the first time you grab your phone to review the video, put it on mute and then just look at yourself. And then as you're looking at yourself, take notes. What am I doing with my hands? How are my facial expressions? What am I doing with my legs? How am I moving? Do I have any visual tics? So you take a whole bunch of notes. That's the beginning process of self-awareness. Then after that, turn the volume up. Just listen to yourself now. Turn the phone around, play, just listen. And as you're listening now, listen to the vocal qualities. What do you like about your voice? What don't you like? What can you hear? How's your rate of speech? How's your volume? What's your melody like? Do you hear the passion? If you're passionate about something, you'll take so many notes when you do this. What are your filler words, non-words, right? You get all of that down. Then the last step is get it transcribed. So once you transcribe it now, you can see the way you communicate in a completely different perspective. You might notice you speak in circles. I repeated the same thing 4 times. What am I doing? Right? And you'll see different things. If you just go through that process once, you'll get a list of 5 to 10 things.
Right.
That's how you begin your journey of self-awareness. Yet people will resist that because it's too uncomfortable. They'll record it, but they won't watch it. But the ones that do, Jay, I immediately get a DM after. Shock. I can't believe I do X. And it's crazy because I think of one of my students right now where he said, for 6 years, I've been held back in my career because my managers and my leaders say that I lack clarity, I lack authority, and I lack confidence. And he goes, and they give me this feedback, yet they don't tell me what I need to improve. And do you know what I realized, Vin, through doing this record and review process? The one thing that has robbed me of 6 years of progress is my umming and ahhing. I can't believe umming and ahhing has held me back. And he was so frustrated. And I remember I had to tell him, I go, look, I get your frustration, but at least it didn't hold you back for 20 years. And you realized it now. But something simple as umming and ahhing held him back for that long and destroyed his perception of being a great leader. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to, is that's the problem. I feel someone may see your work and they'll say, well, I don't want to be a public speaker.
That's right.
That's not the point. The point is there's a promotion that you're not getting because you don't have authority.
Yeah.
Or the challenge is you're not able to ask out the person on a date that you really want to take out on a date. Like you don't feel that confidence.
Yeah.
Or there's the challenge of you're in a team meeting and you feel like your voice is never heard. People always overlook your opinion. They don't hear you.
Yeah.
What are some of those stories that you've heard of people that have had those types of challenges that are coming to you and saying, exactly like the one you just told us, they're like, oh, Vin, this is actually solving a daily issue for me?
The big one, people keep interrupting me. Not only do they not listen to my ideas, they interrupt me. And then my turn is gone now. And the idea that I was going to share was one that was going to be able to change the course of the meeting. But because they interrupted me, now I'm invisible. And that keeps happening to me. And then when they ask me, they go, why do other people interrupt me? Why does it happen? The reason is something that I don't think you'd expect, because it comes down to vocal presence and physical presence. And when I see them in the situations where people interrupt them, the reason is because their vocal presence is low and their physical presence is low. So, for example, everyone's sitting around a meeting table. And again, I go, look, send me an example, right? Where you're doing a big Zoom meeting and you're allowed to send me this, send it to me. Let me see what's happening. And when you see it, everyone's sitting down. And then the way she would bring up the question, it was a woman who asked me this. And I remember the way she'd ask it is very low volume. So, look, I've just got a quick idea I would love to share with you all. Very small body language. And if I was talking to you like this right now, it is so easy for you to interrupt this version of me. So easy. Whereas imagine instead I said, take control of this. Stand. And they go, oh, I feel a little bit weird. We'll just prime the reason. Just go, look, I've been sitting all day. Do you mind if I stand for my part of the presentation? Oh, great. All right. Then you just stand. If you stand now, all of a sudden you're in a position of more authority. And if you use larger body language, stronger volume, the version of me right now, this version is infinitely more difficult for you to interrupt.
Absolutely.
It's infinitely more difficult because you've got more authority. You've got more credibility. But again, because a lot of people in those situations fall victim to a lower default volume, a slower default rate of speech, smaller body language, and then all of a sudden people interrupt them.
Absolutely. Or talk over them.
Yes.
Just completely ignored.
So I often say to my students, the reason people interrupt you is because you're easy to interrupt. Create a bit of that friction, right? Create a little bit of that authority. And then again, they try it. It feels a little bit, again, they say fake and phony, but I'm like, reframe it. It's just unfamiliar. And then they start to do it. They go, oh, it felt really unfamiliar then. But the moment they do it, they go, wow. People, all of it, like just from standing alone, Vin, I felt like I stood. I just had a bit of volume. I didn't even use my body language, but already people are not interrupting me. So again, it just goes to show that how you use your instrument and your voice lets other people know how they can treat you.
I wanted to ask you, how does an introvert get the courage to do what you just said? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to right now, they're introverted naturally. I mean, do you even believe in introverts, or is that also a practice behavior?
Well, there definitely is a difference, obviously. I asked my vocal teacher the same thing. I said, what's the difference between an introvert and an extrovert? And she goes, the key thing is just how they get energy. Are you introverted or are you extroverted? I mean, I know I'm very extroverted. I get energy from being around people. But she goes, introverts, they lose energy once they're around people. So she goes, look, that's the key difference. Now, let me ask you a question. A pianist, if they're an extrovert, would they play differently to an introvert? I had to think about that for a while because I thought, surely this is a trick question. And I said, yes. And she goes, no, you're an idiot. There's no difference. You will not be able to tell who is an introvert and who is an extrovert if you listen to a pianist. Great music is great music. Your voice is an instrument. Great music is great music. She goes, the only difference is introverts have to be highly strategic with when they play their instrument. Extroverts can play their instrument all day. It's more difficult for an introvert because you have to be highly selective when you play your instrument. It's an excuse that I think some of my friends who are introverted used to give, and where they say, oh, no, because I'm introvert, I'm not going to play my instrument well at all. And it's like, no. You still have energy. You just have to use it much more strategically, and you have to be highly aware of how you can rejuvenate that energy.
Yes.
You have to be very conscious. It's harder for introverts. It is harder for introverts to acknowledge that. However, if you've got great ways to be able to rejuvenate your energy and you have good menu items, like good things you can go out and snack on and recreate some of that energy and rejuvenate, then you still have to learn how to play your instrument well. Otherwise, you will become that person and again, the majority of my students are the person you described. It's I'm way smarter than John. I'm way smarter than Sarah, but why did they get the promotion? Why didn't I get it? Well, it's because if you are technically 10 out of 10, but your communication skills are a 3 out of 10, do you think your organization perceives you to be a 10 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10? You are only as good as you can communicate. So as you improve your communication skills, you start to shine your light more brightly in the world. Whereas a lot of my students tend to think, oh, but it's my boss's responsibility to see the brilliance in me. No, it's not. It's your responsibility to shine brightly, not their responsibility.
Yeah.
So when you take it upon yourself, things change.
If someone's listening to this right now and they're saying, Vin, I love what you just said. I'm an introvert. I agree with you. There are times when I can and can't perform or can't bring it out. How do I hold energy? How do I create energy if I have a meeting coming up today, if I'm going to be on a Zoom call today? What do I do in order to make sure I'm at my best? Because right now I'm going from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting, Zoom call to Zoom call. I'm just exhausted.
First thing is you have to learn how to protect your energy. For example, yesterday I was doing a couple of different podcasts while I'm here in LA, and I didn't leave the hotel room. The podcast wasn't until 4. I didn't leave the hotel room at all, to the point where my videographer freaked out and just knocked on my door and said, "Are you okay? Are you still all right? Are you all right?" I'm like, yeah. I'm conserving my energy.
Yeah.
I'm a fairly high energy person, so I have to conserve my energy. So all morning again, I didn't talk to anyone this morning. I had to wait to talk to you, because if you don't conserve your energy and you just give it all the time everywhere, then you won't have any. So that's number one. Got to conserve your energy, right? And then the second thing is have go-to, I call them menu items. Have some menu items that you can quickly reach for. So one that I love is Wim Hof, the breathing technique, right? The guided bubble breath. 2 cycles of that before a meeting. My brain is oxygenated. My body feels good. I feel like I just feel revitalized.
Can you break the pattern down for us, just in case people don't know?
Okay. So if people don't know YouTube it, but it's 30 deep breaths in and out. So 30 of that. And then after that, at the end of the 30th one, you breathe out and then hold your breath. And you'll be shocked how long you can hold your breath for. You'll be shocked. The first time I did this, I couldn't believe I could hold it for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was dying. And then at the end of you holding your breath for a minute or so, as long as you can, after that, just take a deep breath in, hold for 15 seconds, and release. And that breathing technique alone has energized me, even when I am doing Zoom calls at 3 a.m. in the morning, because I work with some US clients. It just gets me 3 cycles of that, 2 cycles of that. Incredible. I was not a believer in that at all when I first learned. I was like, yeah, surely that's not going to work. What, breathing? I do that every day. Changed my life.
Yeah, I agree.
My go-to technique to energize myself. The next one to me is a snack, something healthy. I love blueberries, raspberries with a little bit of cream. Oh man, a light meal. I love it. Right. And then favorite beverage. My go-to is coffee. I don't know. I feel like some people are going to tell me it's going to kill me, but I love it. So have your own go-to.
Yeah.
Right. Have your own go-to.
Routine.
A routine.
Yeah.
I have a playlist of videos that crack me up. I don't know. Have you seen videos that made you laugh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Save them.
Yeah.
Save them because they're patent
puts you in a great mood. Yeah.
Puts you in a great mood. I'll give you one last one from me is, again, I've just got so many things out of my menu items.
No, I love it.
I also love orchestral war music. Okay. So like Hans Zimmer-esque.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
And if you're listening to Interstellar, Hans Zimmer, while you're doing Wim Hof, as you take a sip of coffee, oh man.
I'm going to try that out.
Give that a go.
I'm going to give that a go.
Yeah,
that's
give that
awesome.
A go. It's an intoxicating mix. I feel like people have this misunderstanding that I should just have this energy naturally.
Yes.
Back to your original question, right? I should just have it naturally. And if I don't have it naturally, there's something wrong with me. Mm-hmm. It takes work to show up with energy, intention, and purpose. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think people have this illusion in their minds that, oh, it should be easy.
Yeah.
And if
or
it doesn't
we think
feel
we're
easy,
weak.
Yeah. Or there's something wrong. It's like, no, there's a craft to it. Like even preparing for a Zoom call, some people go, oh, is that a bit much? But that's how you show up 3 Zoom calls back to back. Like structure it with 15 minutes in between. You have to reset. Even for me, it's doing these podcasts, traveling overseas. I'm exhausted. But then again, if I choose to give this energy, I need to conserve it.
Yes.
I need to have ways to rejuvenate it. And I have to go through the process. And you have to commit to the craft. You have to commit to that discipline.
We're all scared of pauses, right? Everyone's always trying to fill the gaps. Even if you're in a conversation with someone, we don't like pauses. I've, for years, had to practice the ability to say it's okay if I need to look away, if I need to think, if I need to reflect, if I actually just need to take something in, whether I'm on a podcast, on stage, or in a private meeting. How do we get comfortable with slowing down and pausing rather than trying to fill all the space? Because that's such a natural thing to do.
The first thing I would say, if you speak really fast, well done for being aware that you do. Most people are not aware of it. Is a lot of it is to do with your mindset and the state of mind that you're in. When do you think people speak really fast? When they're feeling what?
When they're nervous, scared,
anxious,
yeah.
etc. Right? So you kind of have to address it at the core there. So what you need to do is you have to identify, when are you speaking fast? In which situations are you speaking fast? Oh, it's when I'm in a job interview. Oh, it's when I'm going in for my quarterly review. Well, great. Now you know in these isolated situations, the triggers are high pressure situations. Okay, cool. That means before you go into those situations, you need to still your mind and your body. Again, it comes back to breathing, right? I couldn't believe it, but there were workshops that I was invited to and I did some of them. I couldn't believe we could spend 3 to 4 days on breathing. And then I found out there was a 7-day workshop on breathing. I went, 7 days? There's so much profound wisdom in the breath. And I did not understand it until I started learning more about it. So again, breathing. Before you go in, go with the Wim Hof breathing, and that will slow down your mind and slow down your body. And then all of a sudden it slows down your speech. The next thing is adrenaline also causes you to speed and speak really quickly. So before you go into a presentation or something that's making you nervous, get rid of the adrenaline. Some brisk walking, do a couple of push-ups, do some star jumps. I know you call them jumping jacks here in the US. Yeah, mate. It's not called a jumping jack. It's a star jump, mate. So
we call it star jumps in England.
Oh, you do? Yeah. The Americans have it wrong.
Yeah.
It's obviously, who the hell's Jack?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, do 20 star jumps, right? And when you do that, you get rid of all the adrenaline. The adrenaline is what makes you shake and also what makes you speak really quickly. Because when you start to shake, it's sending signals to your brain that you're nervous. Now you start to think you're nervous. And then when you think you're nervous, now you're speaking really quickly, right? So again, these things help slow you down. Now, those are things you can do before you go in. One last thing you can do before you go in, actually, is what makes us really nervous is being self-conscious. But you can only be self-conscious if you're thinking about yourself. So then stop thinking about yourself and realize it was not about you. If you're going on stage, it's not about you. It's about every single person you're going to serve. And I'll be honest with you too, coming here, I felt a bit nervous, right? But then I thought to myself, well, it's not about me. It's about me trying to add as much value as I can to Jay's audience. And it's about Jay. I want to connect with Jay. And the moment I made it about you and I made it about the audience we're about to serve, I had no cognitive capacity left to be nervous because I'm not thinking about myself. So to me, these 3 small tools, you got the breathing, get rid of the adrenaline and mindset shift. It helps calm you down. And now when you go in, if you find yourself racing in it, then pause and take a deep breath. And that's how you can remedy it. Because if you go in, you're like, oh, I'm here. I'm really excited. You take a deep breath and then continue speaking. And right after the deep breath, it's going to slow your speech right down. Even when I did it there, I all of a sudden feel more relaxed now.
Yeah.
The reason people aren't comfortable with the pause is because they don't know what the pause is for.
Right.
And when you think the pause is useless, that's why you develop the behavior of filling the pause. Always talking, non-filler words as well. And so, like, do you know what I mean? We do that because we don't understand the power of the pause. Whereas the pause allows people to process what you're saying. Think about it now, listeners, as you're listening to that, the moment I paused, you just did it again. You had a moment to process the things that I was saying. If I just talk really quickly and I don't pause at all when I'm talking, all of a sudden now everything that I say has no clear points because you don't have any time to process anything that I'm saying. All of a sudden, everything after a while becomes mumbo jumbo. Right? It just becomes nothing.
100%.
Whereas pausing gives people time to process. Pausing gives you time to breathe so that you can relax, so that you don't speak too quickly. There are so many benefits to it. I mean, think of music again. I love using music analogies because the most important note in an orchestra happens after a crescendo, which is what? Silence. They'll build the peak, and then all of a sudden the musicians will play and play, and it'll get to this peak moment, and then just nothing. And the audience is in awe of what they just experienced.
How do we establish more authority and influence when we are sharing an idea, when we are proposing a method?
You've heard a lot of body language experts say you match and mirror people.
Yes.
Right, to build rapport, to make it about them, to build a connection. You match and mirror their body language. But what a lot of people don't realize is you can also match and mirror their vocal foundations. So when you think about the voice and you divide it into 5 different categories, and you think it from the perspective of rate of speech, volume, pitch and melody, tonality, and the pause, now all of a sudden you have these 5 factors that you can start to think about when you're talking to people. So if someone comes up to you and they're naturally speaking a little bit quickly because they're nervous, right, like that, and they're speaking a little bit lower volume and the melody is not as great of a range, and you notice these things, then you match and you mirror where they are with their voice too. And then people immediately feel like, oh, you're approachable.
Yes.
And it's not that we stay there, because some people go, oh, but that's inauthentic. That's not right. No, that's you being a great and dynamic communicator. That's you going, hey, I'm going to meet you where you are to make you feel comfortable, to build connection, to make it about you. Meet them where they are, and then slowly you take them back out. So if you're meeting them where they are, you go, oh, hey, thank you for coming up and saying hello. But hey, can I just ask you quickly too, what did you really take away? What was the key thing you took away? Oh, you took that away. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I'm so happy that you came up and had a chat with me. All of a sudden now, once you're in rapport, you can take them to where you want to go. And that's something you can take onto a Zoom call. You meet them where they are, right? If someone's really excited about an idea they want to bring to you, you can meet them there with that excitement to show them respect, right? As opposed to a lot of the times previously in my life, someone will come to me really excited and I have one gear, Jay, and I'm just one gear. I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah, that's great. Awesome, man. And I didn't realize that then all of a sudden I made them feel less important. Whereas now all of a sudden I've learned that, when someone comes to me with a peak emotion, even if it's frustration, I will mirror that for them to show them that, hey, I feel you. It's like, man, that sucks. Right? So it's not just in the words that I use, I deliver it in a way so they can hear that I'm with you and I'm on the same page.
Yes.
It's one of the fastest ways to build rapport with people.
Yeah, I think that's so important, because you could start up a Zoom call and someone turns up and they're in a really sad, low mood.
Yeah.
And in your head, you're thinking, come on, come on, bring more energy, right? And then you get frustrated.
Yeah.
And now you feel you're dragging them up a hill. Whereas if you were like, hey, I just want to check in with you. Like,
you're right.
Yeah, how's it going?
You lower your volume too.
Yeah.
You meet them where they are. You're like, hey, I noticed on the other call, are you okay? And all of a sudden, people are way more likely to open up if you used your instrument that way, as opposed to, oh, mate, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on, man? Come on. Look at the weather outside. It's amazing today. What's going on? They're definitely not opening up to that person. I've got so many different gears now, Jay. And that's the analogy I love to use too, is that because sometimes a lot of people feel that, oh, there's only one version of me. And Jay, this is the only version of me, and I'm this version of me in every situation. That's like having a car with one gear. We are so much more dynamic than as a human being. And I get my students to think about this all the time. Think about when you're angry, you use your voice differently. You use your body language differently. When you've done something wrong, and when I've done something like I've maybe stayed out with the guys too late one night, I come home, I talk different to my wife. I'm like, I know. Yep, I'm sorry. And I'm very sheepish. You're different when you've done something wrong. We use our instrument differently in every single one of those situations. But when we don't consciously think about it, sometimes we can default to just one gear. I show up to the interview the exact same way. We show up in just one rigid gear. And we go, why am I not standing out? Why don't I get more attention? Why don't I get that promotion that I deserve? Yeah. You've got to learn to be more dynamic.
We end every episode of On Purpose with a final 5. These have to be answered in one word to one sentence maximum.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so you can't.
This is my kryptonite.
So you can't. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably break it for you because you're such a good explainer.
Sure.
I'll let you do it.
No, I won't. I'm going to try to stick to. Hey, rules are rules.
Okay.
Rules are rules.
The first question: what's the best piece of communication advice you've ever heard or received?
Your voice is an instrument. Play all of the songs that are trapped within you. Don't die with all your music trapped inside.
That was a great sentence.
It's a long sentence.
It's a great sentence. Long sentences are fine.
Yeah.
Second question. What's the worst communication advice you've ever heard, received, or given?
If you're nervous, just look over their heads. I was literally given that advice.
What are you meant? You can expand. What are you meant to do?
Well, again, you want to look at people, look at them in the eyes, because the advice was look over their heads. They won't be able to tell. And this was my first piece of advice I was given when I was going on stage. And I started looking over people's heads, and it just looked like I was arrogant, right? Because I was like, oh, hey, everyone, good to see you. And I wasn't looking them in the eyes. Terrible
and also,
advice.
you get no feedback. You have no energetic exchange. You don't have a clue.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing is it's that, and then you look like an arrogant prick.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about that. All right. Question number 3 on that point. Why does our body and our hands shake when we're nervous?
It's the excess adrenaline. And you have the remedy to that in this episode already. Star jumps.
I love it. Question number 4. What's something that you used to believe was true about communication, but not anymore?
That I was stuck with the sound of my voice. It's just a series of behaviors. If you change the behaviors, you change the sound.
If you could create one law that everyone in the world had to follow, what would it be?
Use your instrument to spread more love, kindness, and compassion.